All right, let's just jump right in. I want you to forget everything you thought you knew about the afterlife. You know, the pearly gates, chilling on a cloud for eternity, all of it. Because today, we are looking at a vision of what comes next that is less like a vacation and honestly, a lot more like a celestial career ladder. We're talking job interviews, performance reviews, and believe me, the stakes are incredibly high.
I mean, this is the dream, right? It's what so many of us hope for. An eternal vacation where all your debts are just, poof, wiped clean. A happily ever after where you are totally taken care of. It's a really powerful and comforting idea. But what if that's just the glossy brochure? What if the fine print tells a completely different story?
Exactly. In this version of the afterlife, there is no complimentary retirement package waiting for you. The source material we're looking at today makes it crystal clear. The Father works, the Son works, and everyone else must work. So yeah, you can forget about picking out your personal cloud. Your first order of business is going to be polishing up that spiritual resume.
And this is where the script just gets completely flipped. That expectation of an endless vacation? Nope, it's replaced by universal employment. And that deeply held belief that all your debts are just magically wiped away? Not so fast. Turns out they have to be personally paid off by you, through your own efforts. And the idea of some perfect utopia? It's actually a strict merit-based system, where every opportunity is earned, not just handed out.
So, before you can even think about applying for a job, you have to go through what you might call Judgment Day. But forget all the courtroom drama stuff. Think of it more like the ultimate spiritual and financial audit. They're looking at your whole life. Your accomplishments, your mystic skills are tested, and this is the big one. They are scrutinizing every single one of your unpaid debts.
And this, of course, brings us to a huge, crucial question. It's right at the core of so many beliefs. Wait a minute. Aren't all my mistakes, my sins, just forgiven and washed away through faith? If I'm a believer, shouldn't I be totally debt-free? Well, within this framework, that foundational question gets a very surprising answer.
Okay, so this distinction is absolutely key. Forgiveness, you see, can be granted. Think of it like a presidential pardon. But that pardon doesn't actually release the energy that got corrupted by the bad deed. The source calls this misqualified energy. And each soul is personally responsible for transmuting it, for purifying that corrupt energy themselves. Only when you've done that work does the purified energy get deposited back into your mystic bank account.
And yep, they are keeping score with hard numbers. According to this vision, a soul literally cannot enter heaven if more than 50% of all the energy it was ever given is still tied up as spiritual debt. You have to have more in your savings than you owe on your credit. It's basically a cosmic credit check.
So let's say you do it. You pass that 50% threshold. You've got more in savings than you do in debt, and now you're eligible to get a job to start working off the rest. Awesome. But now comes the interview. And I can promise you, your LinkedIn profile is not going to help you here.
The resume they're looking for lists things like self-discipline, intuition, and discernment. They actually assess your gut feelings. But the real kicker is demonstrating mastery over the 9 powers of the Holy Spirit. We're talking about the ability to direct and project something called creative mystic fire. It's this incredibly focused spiritual energy. It is a skill set that goes way, way beyond anything you'd find in a normal corporate training session.
And this quote is so telling. Just the inability to control your own thoughts, these random pop-up memories, can get you disqualified on the spot. In the source material, the characters literally failed their interview in under a minute because one of them gets distracted by a big fish and the other by some giant roses. It just shows you how intense the required mental discipline really is.
Now let's say you pass the interview and you actually start climbing that celestial career ladder. What's the end game? What's the ultimate goal? It's not a corner office with a view. It's getting closer to the Creator. But this isn't like scheduling a meeting. It's about approaching a natural force of truly unimaginable power. Just let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about the sun's surface. We're talking about the sun's core. And the Creator's radiance is 1,000,000 times more intense than that. In this framework, that's not a metaphor, it's a statement of cosmic physics. It's a law of the universe that has profound, profound implications.
And here, we get this really sobering cautionary tale about Uncle Bob. He tried to force an audience with the Creator, but it wasn't a punishment that stopped him, it was what the source calls a natural consequence. A soul that's filled with anything other than pure holy fire simply cannot withstand that level of radiance. It's like a moth trying to fly into a blast furnace. It just dissolves.
So what does it actually take to withstand that light? Well, first, you have to be completely debt-free. Any lingering debt is an impurity, and that pure radiance is incompatible with it. Second, you have to be filled only with pure holy fire, which is exactly why you have to let go of all addictions, attachments, and grudges. It's non-negotiable. Those things just take up space that needs to be pure. This isn't just about being a good person, it's about achieving a state of being that can physically endure the Creator's presence.
Now, hearing all this, you might be thinking, wow, is there a way to fast-track this whole process, a shortcut to enlightenment or that kind of self-control? And the source material actually gets very specific on this, and it addresses the trend of using drugs to try and force some kind of spiritual experience.
And the verdict is clear. It's a trap. A really bad one. Any addictions you have can actually stick with your soul after death, leaving you trapped with these unfulfilled cravings in the ghost world. This weakens your protective aura, and that makes you vulnerable to what the Source calls vampire demons, these entities that literally feed on that kind of energy. At the end of the day, it fills your soul with something other than the Holy Spirit, which takes you further away from the goal, not closer to it.
So the whole point of this entire vision seems to be that heaven is less of a destination you finally arrive at, and much more of a mirror. A mirror that simply reflects what you have built within yourself. It reflects your discipline, it reflects your purity, and it reflects your debts. And that leaves us with one final, pretty heavy question to think about. If heaven is a mirror, what does yours look like right now?